Hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of Black Metal and Brews. I'm Ben, and I am. Ooh, I've forgotten to mute myself when I go to check the link, so I'm gonna spread that link real quick. And okay, post it to Twitter, posting to Facebook. It always takes a minute longer on Facebook. There we are. Now, as I'm sure at least some of you maybe can see, things look a little strange today. Maybe you can see I have today my friend David Fylstra, my guest of honor, and I will be consuming many spicy products. He's got like wings he's making. I'm not so skilled, so I have a large plate full of Morningstar Farms chicken nuggets. So very, very exciting here. We're going to be having our interview conversation as I normally would, and then also consuming spicy things while we do it. So it looks like David has entered the little waiting room lobby here to join me. So I'm going to bring him on, and we'll get this show started. Hey, David.
Hey, Ben. It's good to see you. How's it going? You look frozen.
Good. I'm doing okay. My signal got. Sorry, my signal sucked for a second there. It looked like because we both
It
cut
looks
out.
good now.
So that's probably on me. Sorry.
You're all good. How are you doing?
You look. Love you. I'm doing okay. I mean, you can see I've got like a mess of hot sauce and beer here.
Yeah.
May as well, open the beer at least because it's going to need that. This one, my friend Eugene gave me this beer as a birthday gift. It's from Burial Beer Company. It's called Gang of Blades. It looks very 3 Inches of Blood album or some shit. It's a double IPA. Yeah. Should be a nice way to kind of cut the burn.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I got this Freem Lemon Zest Farmhouse Ale.
God, I love Freem.
I know. I
haven't had beer in years.
I haven't had this one, and yeah, you typically can't go wrong with Freem because everything they make is pretty good.
Yeah. No, I'm excited for you. That's going to be good. Now that used to be like, when I lived in Portland and I worked at Whole Foods, you get the little discount on your groceries. A couple free beers a week just because.
Yeah, and they're always like really reasonably priced too.
Yeah.
They're a good go-to. I was trying to find the right spot to lay out my sauces. So
I see you've got like a romantic sauce dinner there.
Yeah.
Handled it.
Yeah, I tried.
So I'm trying to sort mine in order of not spicy to spicy so that I don't totally goof it. The thing is, I've only had a few of the many here. I've had 4 of the 10. So a lot of this is going to involve guesswork, which that's half the fun for me. But,
right. There's a couple
see.
I have that I have not tried yet, so I'm assuming.
And so you made one today.
I did. I made a Serrano Chipotle sauce with a little bit of ginger. There's garlic, some onion. Okay. Yeah, it's. I only tasted it a little bit just to make sure it's at a good spot. So it was pretty spicy, but I ranked it somewhere in the middle, assuming that some of the other ones are going to be pretty hot. So
yeah. All right. So now that I've got my sauces on the ground instead of like in front of me, I can actually put my little thing of my. You made wings, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But I got nuggets. So tell me about making veggie wings. How does one do this?
Your
skin not.
I don't know. This company, I get these wings from Food Fight, which
cool.
you remember. So
Yeah.
the company is All Vegetarian Inc., I think, and there's like no instructions on how to cook it on the packaging or anything. But
that's the best.
I remember these are the same wings we used when we did like the Hot Ones thing last summer with Tom and Kyle and Elizabeth Color Wheel and them. So, and they were so good. So I was like, these are the ones to do it from now on. They got like the sugar cane bone in there that you could just eat.
Oh, you can eat it. It's like oh man, that's good.
Yeah, you can eat the whole thing. So they really got the texture down. I think it's mostly like gluten based, so it has like a texture of like seitan. I did not read the ingredients, so I might be wrong, but that's what it seems like.
Yeah, that sounds good. Well, before I dive in with questions, I'm gonna start with my first sauce on a thing. This one, I got it because it sounds interesting. This is one that I've tried. It's ginger peach hot sauce from Dave's Gourmet, and it honestly, it tastes like some shit you'd make like a cocktail with. Like it just tastes sweet. It does not taste like a hot sauce.
Right. You know, yeah, I love those sweeter ones that aren't that hot. You can just really douse your food with them.
Totally. I was hoping it'd be like a, like you get a tropical one that's like mango habanero or something. I was hoping it'd be like that.
Yeah.
But, so I've given a hearty here, probably about a small spoonful. And
nice. Okay. How do you want to do this? Do we want to do this at the same time?
I just took a bite, so I don't care.
All right.
Well, so what's yours?
My first one is not exactly a hot sauce. It's a spicy sweet soy sauce made by this company, Hob Sauce. They also make other hot sauces and stuff. But last summer, I went to the Portland Hot Sauce Expo, and they had a tent set up there. And by the way, that event was incredible, very intense. But
did they like hand out free tissues at that?
Yeah, it's just like they had like 50 or 60 tents. You just walk around and you can taste all these different sauces. They got like chips or miscellaneous things to taste them on. And then they had like a bunch of other stuff. They had like live music. They had like wrestling ring. They had like like a bar area. It was a lot of fun. I drank a lot of Bloody Marys that day, which go great with hot sauce because I was.
Yeah, that sounds like that sounds great for your stomach. That would give me so much heartburn.
It did. I was wrecked for like a whole day after. But yeah, all right. Here, I'm gonna give this a considerable amount of sauce because I do not fear the sauce. I just dump it on there, and it's whatever happens is my fault.
Totally. All right. Also, we're starting easy, so it looks delicious though. Like I love soy sauce. Like I found a sweet soy sauce from Kikkoman that I then mix with spicy things to make good sauces.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Kikkoman's kind of the soy sauce company anyway, but
they are, yeah.
It was good. And I actually just got an idea. I'm gonna be right back like 2 seconds. I'm gonna grab a spoon so I can measure my sauce.
That's probably a good idea.
That way I don't under or overdo it. So I'll be back in 2 seconds.
All right.
There we go. So, you have been playing music for a very long time. You play a lot of instruments. I guess it's kind of a two-part question. When did you start? What did you start with? And is there anything you don't play that you would like to learn to play?
I started banging on couch cushions as a child with like paper towel roll sticks, and eventually my parents bought me a little drum set, and so I kind of started with drums, and eventually that led to some drum lessons, and really I was just mainly a drummer for a long time. Like, started playing with friends and started trying to get together a band probably by the age of like 12. Just fucking around with friends and covering songs and stuff. And then I picked up guitar and I just started teaching myself. And I never had any formal training for any other type of instrument, but like I just picking up an instrument and like learning it, learning how it sounds, learning how to make different sounds, and just kind of like figuring out how to play it even in a way that may not be, you know, like the proper way to play it. I always love that shit. So I'll play anything I can get my hands on, and I would like to actually start playing some wind instruments. Or I had like this beat up trumpet. I don't even remember where I found it. I think I found it like in the back of some venue like a long ass time ago. It was just neglected, and I brought it home, and it sounded so fucked up, but I loved just being able to breathe into this thing and control what's coming out of it a little bit. So I want to learn how to properly play a trumpet, maybe, and maybe someday a saxophone.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Naked City was an early band for me, so like I always appreciate the saxophone.
Oh yeah, I love when I hear a saxophone on a chaotic or heavy like track, and it's just like, this is not what anyone would expect you to apply this kind of instrument to, and that's but it works so well.
You threw some of that in the playlist you made today as well.
I
think
what was that?
Was it there was a lot of, was either Sprain or Lanaya had a bunch of
yeah,
I forget which of the two it was.
Single. They had I actually don't know who it was that played that sax on that track, but yeah, that's a great example of like a really cool application for it, and just creates this tension, and I don't know, that's a great application for it. Good song. That band, I'm excited for their new record. Yeah,
me too. I'm ready for my next sauce, since that was no heat at all on that.
Yeah, I'm like, I can dump too much on there.
Oh gosh. From same company, Dave's Gourmet, got the roasted garlic hot sauce. I think this one might be a good one. Yeah, I don't remember. I think I put it on like some like beans or something. Like I've made avocado toast and beans a couple times and just tried hot sauces on them because they're kind of good neutral vessels.
Yeah.
Like a spoonful of it here. Gonna put it on half a nugget.
All right.
How about you? What are you about to enjoy?
I've got this hot maple.
Ooh.
Portland company. You can find this in most like stores. I feel like I found this one at a New Seasons. It's a smoky habanero, so it's got like a very smoky flavor to it. And I've had this, some restaurants have it, and I remember just like dousing like a tofu scramble with it one time, and I was like, yeah, this is great. Oh, there's a pizza place around that has it too, and it goes great with pizza, but I've never had it with wings. So yeah, there's a maple syrup is one of the main ingredients in this thing. So
that sounds really good. I love maple anything.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to take my bite. I'm going to see if I suffer or enjoy.
All right, I'm going to try and show you. I'm working with no spoon here, but that's what I'm doing.
Oh, cool. You did all right. Yeah.
Yeah, not a lot of heat. but it's got that smoky maple flavor. It's definitely a sauce that I could just dump on food.
Yeah. No, the one I just had, like, I think because of the quantity, there was a little heat, but I mean, it was like garlic heat. It's a garlic sauce, so you
Yeah.
know, it's more like if you were to chomp a raw clove of garlic, you're gonna have just that natural. It's not even heat, but there's that feeling of like, oh, I had something strong.
Uh-huh.
So I was curious because like the playlist you made today, I just was intrigued. I had never I'd made it this far in life, and I'm not making this up, and it wasn't on purpose or anything. I'd never heard Sufjan Stevens.
Oh, Sufjan Stevens, yeah.
Sufjan. Okay, I knew.
Wow.
And so I had always assumed that he was going to be like a twee fellow with an acoustic guitar, and so the dreamscape sort of thing of it, I really was caught off guard by.
I was too. So that's like a new single. I guess that's the track that's going to be on his upcoming record this fall, and it's so much more dynamic, and like the production it's so much more than like what he has done in the past. He has generally been like mostly just acoustic, like
Okay.
very like mellow, sad songs. And I love a lot of his old stuff. The last record he put out a couple of years ago is my favorite of his. But yeah, this new sound that he's got going on is definitely next level.
It's very dreamy.
I just heard that song and the other single. They released them both separately, but I guess they just released them as like a limited 12-inch that sold out like instantly.
Of course.
And I didn't know about it until a couple days later. So yeah, I only discovered that song a couple days ago. Yeah, and it's been on heavy rotation. It's a good one.
I enjoyed it, and
I
I'm
think
gonna
Oregon fellow
introduce my next hot sauce, and then I've got a what?
Oh, I think Sufjan Stevens is an Oregon fellow too.
Is he?
I think so.
I had no idea.
I didn't either until recently.
So speaking of Oregon fellows, this is local Nuke's hot sauce, and I found out about them through an Instagram acquaintance of mine. Well, who's a real life person, but obviously we're not doing anything in person. So I kept seeing on a friend's Instagram post.
Yeah.
Nuke sauce. I'm like, oh, it's in Portland, and I'm gonna do this thing. I should get it. I don't know if you got it. I know it's local to you, but it's
I didn't see it anywhere when I went out.
Oh, no worries.
I don't think I've seen it before.
Bananas are the first ingredients, and then there's spicy stuff in, but like bananas. So it could be really mild. It could be. I mean, there's habanero, serrano. Plenty of things to give it heat.
Yeah, so, I'm really curious. Banana.
How about you? What's your word?
Makes me think of that. Have you ever had like that banana ketchup?
No, but I've heard about it. Is that good?
It is good.
It seems like it would be.
I never seek it out. I've never bought it, but yeah, I sometimes places will have it. That's really good. It's really good with potatoes.
Well, it smells good. What are you about to have?
So my next one. This one I found in the refrigerated section because it's a raw fermented kombucha hot sauce.
Oh wow!
And I've always seen it at stores here and there, and I never picked it up. And I figured this time I would, and I have had it. Kombucha is like the first ingredient, and then it's mostly like cayenne, jalapeno, organic chili, black pepper, eggplant. So it's kind of like all over the place in there, but
that sounds really cool though.
It's definitely unique. Let's try it on a wing.
Cool. And I actually gave myself a whole spoonful of this, so we'll see if that's. I mean, for all I know, this will be really mild. It says it's the kind of mild sauce.
Yeah.
I just don't know what I'm in for at all. So we'll see. I've drenched it without trying. I'm
I have
also using.
tray under me too, so any drops that are spilling are falling on a safe place.
Oh, and that was very mild, very sweet. That was really nice. I don't think there was heat to that at all.
Mm.
I mean, there's peppers in it, but that was a little more kick than that ginger peach one that was just like a peach dressing. But
yeah, that one sounds really good. Yeah, this
how
one's definitely getting hotter. It's got a sting, as it indicates.
That looks good. I mean, especially I love fermented foods. So I mean, I think if you're into stuff like hot sauces, it makes sense that you'd also be into like probiotic, like weird kimchis and stuff. Like,
yeah,
I mean, I guess it's not weird, but weird takes on these foods.
yeah, I love spicy fermented. That's like, yeah, I actually have been eating a decent amount of kimchi lately. I like to make like rice bowls, put kimchi on top of the rice, like brown rice, avocado. That's a good combination.
If something is pickled or something is spicy, I like it. So when you get kimchi that is somehow both, you mentioned about the production on the Sufjan Stevens song, and you yourself do engineering, recording, etc. as Candlewolfe Sound, or is it Candlewolfe Sound or Sounds?
Yep, sound. Just sound.
I thought it was sound, but of course, once I get in my head that it might be pluralized, I can never get it right, even though I know I have it right. So
it used to be Candlewolfe Studio in Pennsylvania, because I actually had a studio for a couple of years.
Yeah.
But yeah, it started that whole thing like maybe close to 8 years ago now. But now, since I've been like from apartment to apartment, I've been doing it all out of my home, and so I just kind of changed it to sound, because that's generally what I do now.
And when did you start recording? How did you get into that? Was it just like, I need to record my own stuff, I'm going to learn how? What drove you to that?
Probably I was like 14 years old, and I had been gifted, a friend gave me a cakewalk guitar tracks on a CD-ROM, and I put it into my computer, and I was just fascinated with being able to just like plug something in direct to my computer and like record the signal. So I was doing a lot of like, trashy sounding guitar stuff and like recording. I would use it a lot to like learn some of my favorite songs and stuff. And I actually used it to like teach myself to play guitar, because I would just like experiment with recording that way. And yeah, that interest grew. I bought like a mixer, and then I learned how to like hook it up to like my tape deck. And then I bought a bunch of microphones, and my friend that we were playing music together. We would just like try and track these like one take cover songs right into the tape deck, and we just thought it was so cool that like, wow, we just fucking recorded to this cassette tape. Like, so I always like that was exciting. And I knew at that point like I wanted to work that way. Like, I love just sitting down with these tools and being able to write and like craft music right before my eyes, so I eventually got some better equipment and some better programs, and I got a Mac eventually, and then started using GarageBand. And then I realized that maybe I would try and like pursue this as some sort of future career thing. So after high school, a year after high school, I went to SAE in New York in Manhattan, School of Audio Engineering, and it was a full-time 9-month program. And I graduated from that in early 2010. And I got a lot of cool technical stuff from that. But really what was so great about that was just being able to like be hands-on with all of this amazing equipment and just experiment. Like you could book your studio time as long as you wanted, as long as no one else already booked it. You had full access to it until like 2 a.m. I did not live in New York. I kind of wish I did because I could have probably spent a little more time there, but I was commuting every day from Pennsylvania.
Wow.
But that was a great experience. And I feel like I retained some of the technical stuff, but really, even after school, I was just right back to my bedroom, like with all these new tools, like making bedroom records and recording my own bands and stuff. And that's never really stopped. But I started taking in, started recording friends' bands. I eventually decided I needed a better space. So I found like this old cabin in the woods in Pennsylvania and I rented it, had some construction done, built a studio with separate rooms, and I kind of lived there for a few years. I recorded a few bands there, but there really wasn't too much going on in that area, which eventually led to my interest in moving away. But over time, since I've been here too, for the past 5.5 years in Portland, I've recorded some bands, mostly by just bringing my equipment to them, like to their garage or something to record, or their practice space. But I found that my real joy in doing that, in working with other people's music, is mixing. So I'm really trying to focus more on mixing right now. And just something, there's so much freedom to that process of just being able to dig into and dissect this audio and kind of like shape it however you want, whatever feels right. So mixing has definitely been like my passion lately, as far as really getting down to working with audio.
That's really I can barely tell the difference between a lot of the steps in production from, I don't know the difference between, I know what mixing is, but like I don't know where that where the line between that and mastering is, for example.
Right. Yeah. Mastering is something I don't do, because I feel like, so, basically mixing is the final stage from the, I guess like the real hands-on creative standpoint, like,
Yeah.
and once a mixing engineer finishes it, it's usually best to have someone else, right, with a fresh set of ears go into to master it, to really bring out all the work that you did and open up the dynamics and make sure things are at an acceptable level for different formats across all platforms, etc. So mixing is its own art, and I've never really been interested in doing that. Yeah, I guess it's fascinating though, and luckily I have a couple really cool mixing and mastering engineers I'm able to work with. So yeah.
You got a message there.
Dylan.
Dylan Garrison.
My very good friend and sometimes collaborator.
Yeah, I thought I recognized that name. And before we continue, let's have our next sauce. Why don't we? What have you got next? What's on deck?
Next up, this is one I bought today.
Really good.
I had to because it's beware. Comatose heat level habanero pepper sauce.
Okay.
So I've never had this. I'm ranking it somewhere towards the middle, but still towards the beginning.
Yeah. It's kind of corny, so like it could be weaker than it thinks it is.
Yeah. Mary Sharp's. I don't think I've ever had any of their sauce. It's a product of Belize.
Ooh.
So we'll find out.
I'm about to have one more Dave's Crazy Caribbean. We'll see how that is. And then it's the last. I had 5 of their sauces, but 2 of them are very hot, and this I'm considering one of the mild ones. So, you know, the other 2 are the last 2 I'll have because they are like you put a drop in a bowl of chili sort of thing. So let's see how these go.
All right, I'm gonna. This is like a dropper one, so I'm gonna give it a.
You need a couple drops.
Couple drops. It's only one way to find out.
I think some of these things I've got are really hot and don't have a dropper, and I feel like resentful because they're forcing me to torture myself. This one didn't have much heat.
No, this one doesn't either.
Very much in like the family of. I mean, it's not quite a jerk sauce. It's tangy heat, you know.
Yeah, I'm wondering what makes it like a Caribbean.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely got some of that kind of funky spice rather than spice. But like the first ingredient is carrots, which isn't uncommon in some Caribbean sauces.
Yeah, you
know, it's got carrots, red habanero, Tabasco peppers, cane vinegar. So that's interesting. Cane sugar vinegar. That's kind of so garlic, lime juice. I mean, it's good. This definitely feels like something you'd put like in a bowl of like island style curry though. Sure. If you would use a healthy amount of it.
I would love that.
What?
I would love to try that with like some sort of like a coconut like curry kind of thing or something.
It feels like it would go really well in that. It'd be really blasphemous to do it with like a proper Asian curry of any sort, but we're American and we ruin everything by hybridizing things anyway, so fuck it. Like, especially, of course, the next question I had, now that we have a friend and some nice collaborators here, I'm going to ask you about stuff you do rather than the things you do with other people. You've had more than one project that's just you. The dominant one, maybe that's the wrong word, but the one that I feel that has either the most visibility or maybe just has the most in it right now is Folian. I forget because when I knew you, Wasting Seasons was the project.
Yeah.
Did Seasons become Folian, or was there like a change along the way? Like, how did one become the other? And especially as somebody that you clearly love playing with others, what brought you to your reclusive but also really prolific project?
Yeah, I would say like my whole journey of making music alone started with Wasting Seasons. In like 2008, I started just writing acoustic songs, and that was like some of the first, recordings the first album I think I ever actually finished was like what became the first Wasting Seasons album. Wow. And it was just like heavily affected acoustic guitar stuff with tons of reverb and that was my first real go at writing songs. There's a bunch I scrapped from it, but I kind of like that was kind of always the thing, like for years. I never played shows or anything back then solo. I never played my first solo show until like 2014. And I didn't play it under the name Wasting Seasons. I had another name for like a minute that I did not hold on to.
What was that? I don't remember.
What was that?
What was that name? I'm trying to recall.
For like a split second, and I don't even think I knew you then, I named the project Satchery.
Okay. Because
Like
I know that was around the time I met you. Right before I met you is when you did that.
yeah,
So I'm
yeah,
forgetful.
I maybe had that name for a moment, and then I went back to Wasting Seasons, and I was just like, this is the thing. Like, I only ever put out this one record. Like, I'm gonna pick this back up, start making electric guitar based songs, and then I put out like an EP with like 2 songs, and then started playing shows. But at that time I started playing shows, I was already writing what would become like songs from recent Folian releases, in different forms, but it started to feel like a departure from Wasting Seasons and what that always meant to me, I guess. So I felt like a new name and kind of a fresh start was the right way to go. And for so long, I never actually like took that solo endeavor seriously, so I never really put too much thought into it. But once I did, I started to really realize it and kind of like develop, I guess, like a theme or like an aesthetic or a sound that like I'm going for.
Yeah.
And the sound is always changing. I mean, it's the joy of making music on your own is that you can do whatever you want. So I'm always trying to, push forward, not repeat myself, and explore sound. But yeah, I think I played like the last show as Wasting Seasons in Portland in like late 2017, and then it was Folian from there on. Yeah, and yeah, that's been like just my everyday. Like I'll open up some sessions and continue working on songs that eventually find their way to a proper release. But
I mean, ooh, you okay?
yeah,
It doesn't.
that was a normal cough, not this is spicy cough. I need some spicy coughs. This isn't hot enough yet.
I mean, that's the thing. We're just about to hit halfway. I've got my next one, which is another Nukes sauce, which I'm really excited. Groovy Green. This one, like, and again, I'll put you in touch with them if you're not already following them online or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not.
The other one like has vinegar as the ingredient too. This one though, it's then Granny Smith apple, then serrano and jalapeno peppers, then maple syrup and tomatillo. This sounds. It may not be that hot from what I'm reading, but it sounds really delicious. What have you got next?
Okay, next I have the sauce I made today.
Ooh, yeah, I saw a sriracha bottle and I thought that's not.
No, yeah, this is just where it's being housed currently, and yeah, like I said, it's a white vinegar base, and serrano. I had dry chipotle peppers, and garlic, onion, and ginger, and some black pepper and salt, and I think that's it. I tried it earlier. It was really hot, like temperature-wise.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you were boiling it like a couple hours ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always been I like experimenting and like making new sauces because I can make them in bulk and then have them in big bottles like this. Like I have it's filled up another bottle like this that I just have downstairs in the fridge. And I mean, I think for a while I'm gonna have enough hot sauce to last.
In preparing for this, because I had none of these hot sauces like 3 weeks ago. I got them all just to do this, and now it's like I'm set for hot sauce for the rest of the summer. Although my better half loves spicy food.
Oh, good.
Real quick, like I had to take a year and a half off from eating spicy things, so I'm rebuilding my tolerance.
Right.
Been really fun, like which is why sambal oleg has been such a part of my diet because I'm like, oh, it's sweet and hotter than sriracha, hotter than the Tabasco sauces of the world, but still not like gonna kill you.
Yeah, I was curious about that. Like, how hot can you go before, like, or does it ever upset you? Or
Oh yeah, of course, but I think like anybody,
yeah,
right now in my physical recovery. For those watching that don't know, I have ulcerative colitis, and last year I was hospitalized for it. Uh, it at this point I don't have very many problems. I mean, I started drinking coffee a couple weeks ago, which I definitely wouldn't have done that a year ago.
yeah,
So I'm pretty. I'm probably being cruel to my body, but most of the time it's not affecting me much. So
good.
I'm happy.
That's good.
Let's give these a try.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna just. It doesn't quite. It's too thick, so it doesn't actually come out of the top of the
Oh
sriracha
no!
spout. So I just take it
Oh
off,
yeah, it's fresh.
and we'll just give it like, oh yeah, we'll just douse it. Fuck it.
Yeah, this one I've got pretty liquidy, so
Uh-huh.
I had to pour it over the top of a full nugget. I was using half nugget so far, but using a whole
Nugget.
bigger surface. Yeah, the Morningstar Farms nuggets, like I feel like that sort of product has been a mainstay in my life for like the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Again, it's not terribly hot, but it's really tasty. Really tasty.
Mm-hmm.
How's yours? Are you getting the heat yet?
This one's not as hot as I hoped it might be. It's definitely flavorful. I usually use apple cider vinegars to make my sauces, but I found it to be really acidic sometimes for the type of sauces I make. So I used a white vinegar this time. I would say this is pretty mild. It's definitely that chipotle is standing out, and that's good because I love that smoky flavor.
Good. I love smoky things. If it tastes like a campfire, I'm gonna enjoy it.
I'm gonna give this another pour.
Another little pour.
Mm-hmm. It's good.
Pretty good.
I guess I'm proud of it. It could be spicier.
It just means that you've got a good everyday sauce there, you know?
Yeah, this is one I can share with friends without being worried.
Yeah, like I felt bad. Like I uncapped the sauce I have saved for second to last here, which is one of two sauces that is meant to be like very small doses. And I first had it when I was 21. Like it's an old rival,
Mm-hmm.
And my girlfriend, she's like, "Oh, can I use it?" And made tacos, but it doesn't have the dropper lid. And I told her I'm like, be very cautious. And so she knew, but it just came pouring out. And she's like, "Oh, I do hot food." And I mean, she was fine, but she was definitely running to blow her nose and stuff and sweating for a bit. And it's like that isn't always fun. Like it's good if you do something where you can like stir it in or just say, yeah, I'm up in the heat. But like, it sounds like the kind of sauce you made. Like I think the sauces in the like, if we're on a scale of 10, like the 3 to 7s are usually the best for everyday enjoyment.
Yeah, for sure.
So
that's funny. I feel like this one's actually kind of creeping up on me now. Like it might have some sort of afterburn that I wasn't aware of. I did just have like 3 bites of it too, but
yeah, that'll
all right. I'm still learning this sauce.
Well, I'll give you a minute before we go to the next one. I had another question, a Folian related question. What was that?
Oh, I said the sauce is lingering.
Oh. You released a new record this year, and It's called Blue Mirror. It is lovely. I really, and I again, if you were not my friend, I would have the same opinion of it. I have the burden of having some friends who make music I don't enjoy, and it's a delicate thing because I know not everybody likes the music I make, so
Sure.
I'm kind. I really love your new album. It's the way I describe, because I wrote about your music briefly today and posting about this. The unifying theme in most of the work you have is the two words I use, one of which you kind of used earlier, hazy and exploratory. I feel like there's a very I don't know what you're searching for or what it is you're searching within, but there's always a sense of just kind of looking for something, and it's really cool. I love the album. You had the delight of being one of the people who got to tour right up until the pretty much right until the end of the world here.
Yeah.
Like your USA tour. You did a really interesting thing on the tour with Shifting Harbor.
Mm-hmm.
So can you? I mean, I'm familiar with what you did. I'm aware that some people might not be. Can you tell us about that tour and what it entailed for you?
Yeah. So Shifting Harbor is my good friend Tom Aslan. He used to have a project called Dragon Turtle. We've been playing music together as Canadensis for a few years because we met in Pennsylvania. I told you a little bit about the studio I had. It was an old cabin that I had rented out. So I'll try and make this a little brief, but I found this place on Craigslist, right? And I went to go check it out, and talking to the landlord, and he's like, "Yeah, the guy who had it before you used to use this for music and stuff too, and so that's all fine and good. You can do whatever you want, pretty much." And so I eventually moved into this place and did the studio, and then I was playing in a band that this is probably 2013 or so, and we had just gotten back from like a weekend tour, and we all took like a photo outside of the building. And my friend Uriah that I was playing with posted it on his Facebook. He's friends with Tom. Tom sees this photo and says, "What are you guys doing in front of that building? That was my studio." So I see this comment, and then I reach out to him on Facebook, and I'm like, "Well, that's crazy." We just start going back and forth. He's sending me photos, telling me stories, and we set a date to like have him come over and check out what I did to the place and meet each other. And he did, and he brought a bunch of gear, and we were like, yeah, let's just like set up to record and just like improv, like do some ambient droney shit, and it happened. So we hit record, and it was just like, it was kind of like magic. Like it was that ended up being a lot of what became our first record as Canadensis together that day that we met. And we decided to keep playing music together and keep that project alive. We called it Canadensis eventually because that's the town that this studio was in, and the town that he had lived in for most of his life, the town that I had moved to. Very particularly interesting, desolate mountain town in the Poconos.
Okay, yeah.
So that's where that name comes from. But we're familiar with playing music together for years, and we decided to book this tour together because mainly we just wanted to travel and play music together. And he had his solo project, Shifting Harbor. I did a tour in November with my friend Janice, who does Entresol, and
also wonderful.
Yeah, that was a really fun tour, and they're a great person, amazing. We had a lot of fun. So for the Eugene date of that tour, and Tom lives in Eugene. So I was like, I don't remember how it happened exactly. I think it was pretty spontaneous. Like the day of, I was just like, hey, do you want to just like mic some of my shit up and run it through your pedal board and like manipulate it and just like play a set with me? And like I went over to his house a few hours before this show, and it was an earlier show, so it was pretty pretty early in the afternoon. We had some time to prep for it, and I'm going through these songs with him, and we seemed to have a handle on what we wanted to try and execute that night. And we did it, and it was a lot of, it felt really good to play this music, which has always been so, it's only me, and it's very personal, I guess you would say, and to have someone else in that mix kind of opened up this this different dynamic of freedom and like comfort, I guess, of playing that music with someone else. So we felt really good about that. And then we had like a last minute offer come through to play at a venue down the street that same night after that first show with this band, Zeta, who, I don't know if you're familiar. I don't want to fuck it up. They're from South America. I'm not exactly sure where they're from. I want to say maybe Argentina or Brazil, but I could be wrong. Anyway, they're incredible.
Yeah.
We got to play with them. So we got to play 2 shows together as a 2-piece
in one night.
That night. And then, yeah, so when we were prepping for this tour together in January, I went into it with the idea of like, let's keep doing like these collab performances, you know, maybe not for every show. There's sometimes I do want to just play alone because like that's an important part of this project for me. So a lot of the nights I did, most of the nights we played together. Some nights we played as Canadensis. So that was just a really fun and experimental tour, really full of different experiences night to night, and it opened up this new level of like improvisation to this project that didn't exist before. So that was really exciting. And now like I consider bringing other people into this project, and I have for recording purposes, but you know, aside from Tom, I haven't in a live setting. So but the possibilities are exciting. So,
yeah, it sounded like a hell of a tour. Like
it was a lot of fun. We camped out by sleeping in the van most every night, but we would be able to just drive into like these crazy, beautiful, scenic, isolated areas, and you know, we got out and made time to explore and see a lot of really cool spots. Yeah, it was great, and I feel like that was thinking that was just January. Like pretty much I've been like inside ever since.
Yeah,
it's wild. Like
yeah, it's like 6 months,
and
yeah, no, 6 months, but it's like 5 years.
Yeah, I'm just so grateful that you know, to have been able to do both of those tours at the time that I did it, and I just look forward to the day that that's a possibility again.
Seriously.
Yeah.
You ready for some more heat?
I sure am. Let's do that.
Right. So I have no idea what this is. I ordered some hot sauce from this company in California called Hella Hot. Of course, they're called Hella Hot. They made another sauce that I'm having later that actually has a label. I didn't ask for this. I'm glad I got this. Don't get no complaints.
Right.
It's the mildest sauce of them. It could be the most violently hot thing. I have no idea. It's green. That's all I know.
It's green.
You know, so I put it like you know, in the middle because I'm like, it's green.
Awesome. This one, El Yucateco,
Oh,
You
you
may,
got that?
I mean,
I know.
everyone knows this one.
Yeah.
At least out here. I don't know if it's out there as well, but
I don't even remember because I grew up on the West Coast. I'm just like, of course I know that, but I actually don't know now.
So this is like this is the Mayan recipe, the chili habanero one. XX extra hot. And this one actually is really fucking hot. They have it at a Mexican restaurant right down the street, Los Taquitos. I don't know if you've ever been there.
I don't even remember. I've been away. I moved away almost 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
So.
They always have this there, and I always just douse my burrito with it. But it is hot, and I'm excited to try it on a wing because I have not ever done that.
Well, I've got my spoonful of this of green. We'll see if I should have just had a drop.
I should have gotten a spoon because way more came out than I thought. But
this was quite mild.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like it's funny. I feel like earlier I had a hotter sauce than the last couple I've had. It just means the next 4 is going to be more suffering. Because I know that at least the last 2 are really hot. So, I mean, again, there's some heat in there. It's not, but not much. How's yours? How you doing?
It's good. It's hot. That's what I was looking for. We're really kicking it up now. I'm gonna have another bite.
Good, you should. And maybe before we ask another question, we'll go to our next sauce too. Like let's do lightning round it. You know.
Oh, one thing I do want to do. I want to move on to my next beer.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I'm probably gonna need another one here soon, which I didn't think I would do, but
yeah, this one was. I mean, it's a small bottle, the Freem one, and it's very light.
What have you got next? Yeah, how was the beer? I didn't ask you.
Huh?
We didn't talk about how the beer was. We know that Freem is great, but how was this one?
Right. It was good, and I still got another sip in here. So.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it tastes like a saison. Like it's very light. It's really refreshing. It definitely does have like that lemon zest to it. So if you can imagine a Freem farmhouse ale with lemon zest,
yeah,
you can imagine that this is pretty good.
Jealous. Yeah. I mean, I've been enjoying quite a nice beer here, but it's interesting. I'm so over IPAs, but at the same time, it's also good. So I don't mind it.
Tell me who makes that one again.
What was it? This one is called Gang of Blades Double IPA from Burial.
Oh, right.
They're out of North Carolina, are they? Yeah, Asheville. So Asheville's got that huge brewing scene.
Yeah.
No, so my go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, you go ahead.
Yeah, my friend Eugene gave it to me. Eugene is the keyboard player in the live iteration of my girlfriend's band, which I'm also in on bass. Because I'm a bonehead, and that's the easy instrument.
It's so fun.
But so like we're all social distancing, and my birthday was a month ago. Could have been a very lonely day, but I've got like my little goth beer fairy dropping off. He dropped off an entire tote bag. It had like 8 tall boys of like fancy beer like this in it. And he's like, I don't know what any of these are. I like the labels. Enjoy. Really good. Like I know that sometimes label shopping doesn't always do us well, but so far they're all enjoyable. So what's your next sauce to go with your next beer? Or what's your next beer? Is it more of the same or a different one?
It is. I went kind of basic here, but it's a good staple favorite of mine. Just a white.
I love that.
Yeah.
That one's cool. They have another one called Vitus, like Saint Vitus?
Don't know if I've had that one. No.
I mean, they're both rad. It's not like and they're so budget friendly too. Like I love that it's affordable and it's really good. Like I like European style beer more than American in most cases. So that's Weihenstephaner is great.
I do too, and I really like a Bavarian or like a German. I was looking for a Franziskaner.
Ooh, those are good.
But I did not find that today. So this one I did spot today, and I was just like, yeah, that'll be perfect.
Have you had? There's this one I forget. The Iinger Brewery makes this beer called Celebrator, and it comes with a little goat around it.
No.
Oh my gosh, I'll send you information on it, like how to spell and stuff. It's a pretty common, affordable beer. It's like a Doppelbock, a German beer.
Okay.
It comes with like a little wrapped around the neck of the beer. There's like a little string with a little plastic goat.
Sick.
I liked them. It's a really good beer. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Send me that.
I know they have it.
Beer lately. I love beer, but yeah, it's just been a thing where I've been doing like cheapo, like White Claw shit lately, and
there's a pandemic happening. We're definitely economizing in ways we didn't plan on before. I'm definitely I would not normally, if I was stocking up on hot sauce, get 5 from the same company. But when I'm delivery from the company's website, that's what I'm gonna do. I don't normally order hot sauce to my door, I would usually go to the market. But right now, because I have a fucked up immune system, I'm not.
Right.
I think that it's probably a lower risk than a lot of things people are risking their safety for, but I'm getting everything that I can. Is from Nukes again. This is the last one I got from them. It's just their hot pepper sauce, and it also has banana in it, but it's a hotter cousin, I guess. We'll see.
Yeah. So speaking of ordering, having hot sauces delivered to your door, this one I did. I ordered this right from their website. It's Bunster's Shit Bread.
Oh boy.
Heat is 12 out of 10. It's an Australian hot sauce. They're an Australian company. So Tom Wasluck sent me a bottle of this for my birthday last year. And I can't remember exactly. Like, they have a couple different kinds, and I think the one he sent me was an 11 out of 10 heat.
Ooh.
So, and it's so good. I mean, this is it's the first ingredient's orange juice and then chili peppers. They use scorpion and bird's eye peppers.
Oh,
and I wasn't even familiar with bird's eye really before this sauce.
Hot.
Brown onions, apple cider vinegar, garlic, coconut sugar, cilantro, lime juice, goji berries, ginger, salt, potato starch. So it's got a lot of flavor. And
that sounds good.
When you read those ingredients, you hope it's not just like a mess and it doesn't work. But this sauce is really flavorful and it really has a kick. And I'll say that the one I had before this, I'm feeling it. Like, it's stinging. Like, I'm feeling the burn now.
We're going to build burn on top of burn for the next few then, I guess. It's time.
It's time.
Cleaning off my spoon, pouring a nice little spoonful of this, and hoping it's not too hot.
Yeah, this one's pretty chunky, so it's probably going to be a big glob here. Yes. That's what I'm going for. I'm just going to give myself more than I probably should for the sake of entertainment.
Okay. That's got some sweet and some heat. And clean off the spoon with my mouth like a fool. Okay. It's like I just jumped like they were all mild, and now they're hot. Wow.
Yeah, here we are. Also, I want to comment on your Altar shirt. That's definitely one of my favorite records.
Phenomenal. I'm gonna go get another beer and also take a sip of some oat milk that I've got in the fridge because I'm a wimp. I'm that.
Oh, that's smart. Do what you gotta do.
All right, I'll be right back.
I'm gonna have another bite of this. Yeah, that's a hot one. Right away, it's hot. but that flavor really comes out. Shit the bed. Now we're feeling it. Try to not pour this like an asshole. There we go. Nice.
Oh boy. Okay, that was some regretful moments I had just now.
What's that?
Oh, that was so strong.
Yeah.
That was not a spoonful kind of sauce.
No, it seems to be behind us now.
Okay, so
yeah,
now we're moving on to the drops.
What's that?
Now I'm moving on to a drop of sauce.
Okay. Yeah, I went for seconds on that sauce, and maybe that wasn't wise, but I'm feeling it. But I love it. That's why I do this. I'm glad we did.
So Nukes, you've done a good job. That's really hot and really tasty. Really good. I hope it's clear that I'm enjoying it. It's just, oh wow.
Yeah, I gotta seek out that company.
I'll send you on it. So next I've got this beer. This beer I admittedly don't love.
Victory.
It's the Sour Monkey though. It's just the Gold Monkey and they soured it for some reason. It's
Okay.
kind of green apple. It's not bad, but it's
Very familiar with the Golden Monkey.
It's like a sour golden monkey. It's 9% alcohol. It doesn't need to. This doesn't need to exist. Maybe the sweetness of it'll help. Oh yeah, that helps.
Is Victory an East Coast brewery?
They are. They're out of. I want to say New Hampshire. Are they?
Because I don't see it too often out here.
Pennsylvania
shop.
They're from Downington, PA.
Okay, that's right.
So, I feel my nose is running now. It got me. I've lost.
I feel like I'm perspirating a little bit here.
You and me both. I mean, I also have a hot light on me, but
I have my air conditioner turned off for the sake of noise, but I don't need it. It's fine.
We don't have a proper AC.
I just have a window unit. I just put it in like the other week. It's I live on the second floor of this house, and it gets so hot up here. So it's like, yeah, that's going in the window.
Yeah, no, I mean we have a window unit, but it's got like a 7 square foot area around it that cools off, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Coming back down to earth a little bit now. Whew.
Yeah, enjoy that beer.
It's helping. I just don't want to drink it too fast because it's 9% alcohol, and I know that's a foolish thing in its own way.
Good point.
Move on to our final round of last 3 painful sauces. You've got a lot of collaborative projects. I think the one you started around the time we got closer was I think it's just pronounced. Is it Void? And you pronounce it Kavoid? It is spelled K-Void.
Yeah, it's just Void. Like the other band Void. It's just pronounced that same way. Yeah, so that's the collab project I did with my friend Dylan, who chimed in a moment ago.
Yep, that's what I thought.
And he's an excellent. He's a Pennsylvania friend of many years. He's an amazing illustrator, fine artist, printmaker, and if I remember correctly, he came to me with the idea of collaborating on a music thing, and basically would put me in charge of all the music, and he would, he would write the thing and basically put together the art and and kind of tie everything together. And yeah, we did that record, came together really quickly. We recorded it all in Pennsylvania, and then I moved and I finished mixing it out here and then released it. I think that was the 5th thing I released on the label. And for years we've been talking about doing another record, and we've had so many ideas. So I'm really looking forward to picking back up that project, and I fully intend to, because it's been like 5 years now, and I think that I could it could go somewhere really interesting. I still feel really good about that record.
I think it's great.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. It's time for us to move on to our 8th sauce. What have you got next?
All right.
And I'm still feeling the burn, but I realize that it's going to be like a 3-hour video if I wait for this all to subside.
So next, I have Bravado Spice Company's Black Garlic Carolina Reaper sauce.
Oh, Carolina Reaper. Okay. What are those symbols along the bottom of the label there?
Flames. This gets 5 flames. I guess that's how they're rating it. Blazing.
I thought it was the letter A, like somebody's going like ah. Like, so okay, it's flames.
I've had this one since the Hot Sauce Expo last August, and I don't use it too much because it's so hot. I'm not generally a huge fan of Carolina Reaper. I love the burn, but the flavor of that pepper is not particularly my my thing.
Understood.
So it's not this company, but I'm trying to remember the name of the company. The guy that like bred and like invented the Carolina Reaper pepper was at this expo last year.
Oh, wow.
And we met, and I tried this like 100% Carolina Reaper sauce. It was just the pepper and and like vinegar, like no other ingredients. And it was the hottest thing I've ever put in my mouth.
Did it taste like regret?
Yeah, it was at that point. It was like towards the end of the day too that I chose to do this. And there's a really silly photo of me. Maybe I'll send it to you.
Please.
Like falling.
I won't post on the internet.
All right. I'll have to I'll post it. I don't think I ever did, but yeah, it was. Yeah, Carolina Reaper it's a hot pepper for sure, and I don't eat it too often. So I also don't know why I put it in this part of the lineup, but being that I think my last sauce is probably the hottest, and they're both made by the same company, I grouped them together. So we'll go with it.
That's what I did with my last. So
yeah,
this is my other one from Hella Hot Sauce, and it is the Brain Jerk. It is for the band Ghoul.
Oh shit!
Do you know the band?
I'm not familiar now. I think
they're like
heard the name, but
they call their music splatter thrash. It's Guar-esque, but it's it's not supposed to be known. But it's like dudes from Impaled and Exhumed and stuff like that.
Oh really?
So it's all these like really like Carcass sounding bands members coming together to do something that's disgusting but parodically so. Like it's I don't often like metal jokes, and Ghoul is not a joke. And if anybody from Ghoul watches this, they'll me for saying that. But it plays on tropes that I find humorous. And they're from a country called Creepsylvania, shit like that. So, which is why I found the company in the first place. So I was like, okay, I gotta have the Ghoul sauce.
They have it's kind of a joke.
Yeah. So this sauce is first two ingredients are orange and orange juice, so it sounds safe. But then it's red bell pepper, African bird's eye pepper, habanero, and then shallot. Then like other things for flavor, like lemon and chipotle and garlic and stuff. It says it's hot, and it's bird's eye, so it may well be.
That bird's eye. It's shallot too. I've recently started replacing onions with shallots in everything I cook lately.
They're really delicious.
And I couldn't use it for this sauce I just made, but
okay, this smells good. It smells almost smells savory more than anything. So we'll see. It could be good. It could be a real big warning sign. I'm just gonna use a small amount.
You do it. This one smells good too. And actually, red serrano pepper is before Carolina Reaper in the ingredients here.
So you may be okay.
Got roasted garlic, maple syrup, and black garlic.
So from what you can see, I got like a good 4 drops maybe on my little.
Mine came out a little fast, so this one's gonna.
Oh.
There's no going back. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm here for it.
This is moderately hot. I'm not regretting it, so it probably, to be fair, the last one I had, it could have been a quantity issue rather than a spice level issue. Like, I had so much of that. But, good. That was really good.
This one's good at first, right? And I'm guessing that they call it a Reaper because it, like, creeps up on you, right? Right now, there's not much of a burn, but I know it's coming.
Yeah. Have more, David. Have more.
Right? That's why more. That was nothing.
I mean, it's like that meme, which I'm not a meme person, but there's the whole meme of like, oh, these edibles ain't shit, and then 2 hours later, and it's like a picture of like Skeletor or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, exactly. You should not have had more.
I always have more.
That's it. I've learned, at least with alcohol, like I have a moderately high threshold for booze.
Yeah.
For one, I don't enjoy being drunk. Like I love a nice buzz. I think most people do. But the second I'm like, ooh, I'm feeling uncertain here. Like it's not fun for me.
Yeah.
I'm lucky because I know that some people it's not that way. And like, if addiction is something you're prone to, dear viewer, there are resources. Reach out to me and I'll share them with you because that's a real thing. Like I have addicts in my family and I love them dearly. I'm really glad that gene didn't hit me or whatever didn't hit me because
that's good. It's definitely a real thing. I mean, I myself do have like trouble holding back sometimes, or pacing myself rather. It's like, okay, when I feel nice and buzzed, like it's like I better maintain this, right? But it's like I'm drinking way faster than I need to. Even
maintenance is a hard thing to work out, so I get that. And it's definitely different. If you're with friends in a bar, I've made mistakes so many times. But if I'm having a good time, like all I'm gonna do is piss off my girlfriend and like and be too impatient to enjoy the music that I just put on. Like it doesn't serve me well to get past that joyous light buzz.
True. And I don't know. I feel like it's only like a party mentality at that point, because I can't, if I'm just like home working on stuff and I'm drinking, like I can't, there comes a point where I cross the threshold and I'm no longer productively useful.
Exactly.
What I'm trying to do.
And if I'm at a concert, all bets are off, especially if it's one that I just played. And the awkward part being I've already finished my obligations for the night.
Yeah,
like it's easier to fall into the social messiness. Sometimes that's fun. And to be fair, I live in New York. This is a city where everybody else goes till 4 a.m. and on a wild I'm up till 1. I also may be one of the, because I don't know, I'm not a good judge of it because I was straight edge until I was like 20. I think a lot of here are on certain stimulant drugs that I have never tried and never will. And I don't judge on that, but it definitely prevents me from partying to the degree others do.
Yeah, for sure.
And, so much for that.
It's probably for the best. When I'm playing shows particularly, I need to be careful about that. I usually just I'll cut myself off at one beer before I perform, and then after that, it's like, okay, whatever, I can do it. But I feel like if I have more than one drink before I play, I'm not gonna meet the my own expectations.
Of course,
it's happened, and it's a sadness when I realize as I'm performing, like, man, I shouldn't have had that fucking drink. Like,
exactly, because it doesn't help you enough. Like now that I'm playing an instrument in a band, I'm very, very cautious. I have one beer before we play and one that I'll nurse while we play.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
When singer in a band, to be fair, I was also 21 and 22. It's been a very long time since I was a singer of a band. I would do, it was always a double shot of Jägermeister and a beer before I played. Because I was singing in, we're not going to get into micro genres, like ostensibly a death metal band. It was very little singing, and all I had to do was do the like converge thing and run back and forth and scream at the top of my lungs.
Yeah.
If anything, having a strong buzz and a lack of giving a shit probably served me well at that point, although I didn't know that was why. Like, it's like, oh, I have to remember a bass line and play it in time with everybody else. Absolutely not. I do not use any amount of control because self-restraint is an important component there.
Yeah, absolutely. And it does depend, like, instrument by instrument. Like, I will say,
where are you loosest?
I rarely smoke weed, but when if I do, when I'm playing an instrument, it's only ever drums. And sometimes I feel like, okay, it can kind of help me, like, get in that groove. Like,
is that because drums are so natural for you?
I think so, and I think that just the physicality of, like, locking yourself into this rhythm, it lends a substance like that lends itself to a sort of, you tap into this nature of it, and you're all good. But, like, I cannot smoke weed and play guitar and perform, or, like, play keyboard, or, like, something where, like, this is way more, like, has to do with my, I feel like drumming is so much muscle memory, and, like, it's more of a physical thing and not so much a mental thing for me.
Oh, of course.
And it's the opposite with guitar. Like, I'll probably never smoke before performing a Folian or guitar for any project. Like, it's a disaster.
Now, you don't think you'll ever hit that point where guitar is instinctive for you?
I mean,
I'm not. That sounded like air pressure.
I think it's the actual, like, circumstance of being on a stage and performing that freaks me out. Like, I can smoke at home and write and work and record on music and get really good results from it because I have that level of comfort and non-obligation to make a fool of myself. But once some people are looking at me, it's a whole different story.
Of course. No, I imagine it makes you feel self-conscious, and playing a show makes you self-conscious to begin with. So that makes sense. Are you ready to continue the lost journey?
Yeah, let's do it.
We're going to enter the final countdown.
Ooh, that's so red.
So this is Dave's temporary, sorry, you may have figured out that right is left on your screen doing this. It's very weird. Maybe. Now, I first was introduced because, as you've seen, I have a lot of their sauces today. It's not like, I know they're a big brand and I would rather support small businesses exclusively, but Dave was when I was 21, I dated a young woman. I mean, she was older than me, but we were all young because you're in your 20s. Young woman whose family was really, really welcoming. They were wonderful people. She was too. Just when you're 21, relationships often don't work.
Yeah.
And her cousin was probably like 15 years older than us, but cousin, I keep thinking of him as an uncle, but I think he's a cousin. Uh, didn't know what to get me, but knew I was kind of a weirdo. So gave me a 4-pack intro set to this brand's hot sauces. Now I'm excited, to try it, but I don't have anything to try it on. A couple weeks later, it's 2008. The economy collapses. Everything. I have no job because I'm the new hire at the job I have.
Yeah.
And I have all these hot sauces, and I don't have a lot of regular food. My girlfriend at the time's boss gives us a gift from these government food supplies, including these frozen grilled cheese sandwiches, which are literally like frozen American cheese and white bread, and it's tiny, like a tiny grilled cheese sandwich. And promptly forget them because they're in the freezer, and I'm an idiot. And a couple weeks later, I have a friend of mine over who drums for a band because I'm in a band, and we're just like being drunk idiots.
Yeah.
We got grilled cheese so we can sober up a bit because we've had too much to drink and we're being fools. And I say, oh man, this grilled cheese is boring. Let's put sauce on it. And we have not this one, but this sauce that's the next up, the one I'm having last. I'm like, oh, let's try this sauce I got. I got it as a Christmas gift, and it's like only been a week. And so you're with the Tapatios of the world, which I love Tapatio and Cholula. I'm not knocking them. Just I put a few dashes to spread around, and then I learn what it's about. And so I remember I'm crying and I rub my eyes because we are leaning against the wall crying. Like we are sitting on the ground eating grilled cheese and crying. I rub my eyes after having handled this hot sauce. And I'm 33 and I'm sitting here remembering being, almost 12 years ago, this suffering I experienced vividly, so vividly. But at the same time, I felt like a determination, like I had to finish these bottles of sauce. And it just became my challenge to myself, and it's really good stuff. So this is the temporary insanity as opposed to they then have insanity and total insanity. I did not get the total because that's a sauce for another day. For you.
Next, I got this. I want to make sure I'm reading the actual name of the company. Adobo Loco Hawaiian.
Ooh.
So this is the Hamayang, maybe is how you say it. It's a smoky ghost pepper goodness.
Oh. Okay.
So ghost pepper is probably my favorite hot pepper because I love the flavor.
Yeah.
It's never too hot. But this sauce, I've had it before. It is hot. But it's also so flavorful. And I think it's going to give me that bite that I'm
give you what you want.
Not prepared for.
Right. Well, so this is a slow moving sauce. This is like some sludge here. So I'm overdo it. And I have like 2.5 nuggets left. I had 8 and I cut a couple of them in half because I didn't want to like fat from doing this. I should frame that we're nothing wrong with being fat, but I have some serious issues with my own weight and control over that.
I feel you.
Because in the last year, I spent so much time on steroids for my health. I gained and lost a lot of weight a lot of times, and it just sucks.
Yeah.
So I have a drop of this sauce on this nugget. How you doing? Did you just have it?
No, I didn't yet. I'm gonna put the drop on
I
there.
heard the sniff. Sorry.
I'm
So
but that's
so I have literally one drop of this temporary acidity, and these I hadn't read the ingredients. These guys are nefarious. This says it has hot peppers. It doesn't tell you what kind. And then it has water, tomato paste, cane vinegar, hot pepper extract. It does not tell you what kind. They do not want you to know.
That's weird. That's so funny. That a company like that wouldn't tell you.
I'm sure there's a reason. So, well, it's time to suffer.
Yeah, this one's just apple cider vinegar, ghost pepper, sea salt, and garlic.
That purity, that's delicious.
Cheers.
Oh, feeling that. So, for the record, this on the label says add a dash to most any food for a big kick. It uses in sauces, soups, and stews. So this is a sauce that's meant to be an ingredient in another sauce. Warning: use one drop at a time. Keep away from eyes, pets, and children.
Oh wow! Ooh, here this one comes. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's creeping up. Oh boy.
Ghost.
I'm intentionally leaving my last 2 nuggets for the last 1 drop of the sauce, so the nugget will help like absorb the pain.
I have 12 drumsticks total, and I have 4 left after this one. I don't know. I think I've used the same drumstick for some multiple sauces.
You're smarter. I had 12 nuggets total, but I was trying to not overeat.
No, I just took another bite. A few more drops of this thing on it.
You are tough in a way I couldn't imagine being. Oh my god, I'm suffering right now. Not a spoonful of that one sauce, but like it's like acutely like right on the tip of my tongue. It's like this like centralized thing. It almost feels like somebody put something sharp on my tongue.
Yeah.
Just in one point, not my whole mouth. Like some things, your whole being. I intentionally kept a small amount so that I wouldn't, but I also made sure to put the nugget in contact, with the sauce first on my tongue so that I would taste it. Oh,
I am feeling it mostly on my lips.
oh, that's rough. Because you're doing wings. It was kind of smoky. Like it had a decent taste. But we are entering the point of like this is something you add to other things to enhance their heat, not something that's for flavor. Like to be fair, it's not the realm that I usually like to hang out in. I'm glad to have it, but
sipping that beer kind of just spread it.
Yeah, that's why I have oat milk instead of water. Like I have water glass, empty. And then oat milk glass for emergency.
Yeah, I feel like we had glasses of alt milk last year when we like all the Flenser people did this thing. I do not have on me this time. I'm like,
you're tough.
Beer, there's carbonation. Like it'll work.
Yeah, no, I have chips and hummus in the other room as an emergency thing too. I remember once when I lived in Florida, so we're talking like 2012. There was a Thai restaurant I went to that was, it was the size of my kitchen. It was small. There were like 3 tables. It was mostly for takeout for students from the college nearby. And that's where I met our friend who introduced us, Chris Elmore.
Yeah.
Being around a college campus.
Chris
was owned by like a husband and wife. They were Thai. It was authentic Thai. And I would often just get like their tofu tom kha soup, so galangal soup, really good, flavorful. Then
they started expanding. Like once they realized that the college kids, and I wasn't a college kid, I was too old already even then, but I lived there. Once they realized the college kids were receptive, they thought, oh, let's broaden our menu, incorporate some new things. And I remember before they added this one menu item that was Thai hot, they said, "Oh, do you want to try this? We're incorporating a new thing. We'd love to see what you think because you're in here all the fucking time." Like to the point where they had given. I mean, this woman was really sweet. She gave me galangal, the root once. There's like a ton of it.
Yeah.
To make my own. It was like there was no way I was gonna cook soup as good as she did. There's no way I was gonna use that the way well enough to justify her giving it to me. But tried it out, and I just remember and sitting there with friends of mine who are, from different Asian countries who are used to spicy food, eating it with me, and they are laughing at me, suffering because I like a little heat, but I had hot food for the first time ever, and the owner is sitting there laughing at me. And and not in like a way, but like she thought it was cute way. Like, oh my god, like I took like 2/3 of my meal home so that I could alternate it with chips and hummus. Like I remember having chips and hummus to go with it, just to have something. The heat of what I had, and it was so good. I kept ordering that dish too. Like I'm a glutton for punishment.
Yes,
but like I learned that I had to temper it with something. So that was the only time I ever ate it in the restaurant. Every other time after that was takeout, so that I could
care for. Like avocado that has this soothing element to it when you're eating spicy food, and it pairs so well with Thai food too. And Thai, like actual Thai spicy food, is no joke. There's a restaurant here called Lemongrass. I don't know if you've ever been there.
I never had it, but I know of it.
It's an awesome. It's in their house. Like it's an old house.
Oh, cool! I love those.
Yeah. What's that?
Maybe I did go there. That sounds familiar.
Like Northeast Cooch somewhere. But
oh yeah.
So they do up to 10 heat level, but they only really recommend you don't go above 5. So I mean, I went there. I mean, maybe it was like a year or so ago, and I'm ordering from the guy, and I'm like, I want spicy. Like I want not white people spicy. I want this like Thai hot. Like,
yeah.
And he's like, I don't know who you are. Like, I don't know.
Like you had to be recognizable to get that.
Like I need to have some I need to have some credits before I can order this level of spicy. So I convinced him to a 7, but he was not willing to go hotter for me. And I was like, all right, I'll take a 7. I wanted a 10 because I wanted to know, but I'll take a 7.
Forbidden knowledge.
Yeah. So I don't know if they were just fucking with me, but the 7 was so hot. It was the only, I don't know if you've ever heard like the term like make me cry, like you can order your food, make me cry. This actually like brought me to tears, and I was not able to finish my dish.
Amazing.
But
I remember when shortly after I first moved to Portland, so we're talking like, mid 2014, there was some Vietnamese restaurant in Northwest, like Northwest 20 something, 23rd or something, but like deep up it. So like a little past some of the bougier stuff. I mean, still rich people area, but not in the thick of the shopping district. Went to a spot, and I got a banh mi, and I'm used to a banh mi, and so it's got like, for some reason, like sometimes raw jalapeno is fine, and sometimes there's something up with it, and I know what I mean. And it didn't bother me, but it was like I had one of those hallucinatory heat moments. Looked at the ground because this was like in like an old house sort of thing, and I watched the floor stretching away from me to the front door of this place, and I'm like, oh, like this is really hot food. It was amazing. I did not have a problem finishing it because again, it wasn't like painful, but like it was that like, oh, whatever is going on with this pepper in particular is, you know, I should be careful. Like the first time I had Ethiopian food, a friend of mine got a raw jalapeno stuffed with tomatoes appetizer, and he's like, oh yeah, it's a jalapeno, it's fine. And it was not fine, and I watched him cry, and I didn't understand it at the time, and I that day in that Vietnamese place.
Oh my goodness.
So I have
are surprising no joke sometimes.
so
Sorry.
No, that's fine. I have a couple more questions for you. I'll ask one of them now, and one of them after we have decided to embark on our last sauce. Because I'm still feeling the burn from my last one personally.
Okay, can you give me 1 minute? I'll be right back. Okay.
Do what you got to do. It's been a while. We've been doing this for an hour 41. Thank you for everybody who's sitting here with us. It's a real delight. It's also a real endurance test. I made the mistake in between that last bite and now of scraping up a little excess sauce that was just sitting on my plate. It's like a mixture of like all these different sauces. And I was just like, oh, like I'll have it on the tip of this fork. And clearly it had some of that vicious ass nuke sauce that got me because I'm feeling like it like renewed the burn. It's like, oh, do you remember me? I will make you suffer. I said, yeah, I remember you. I'm feeling you now. But seriously, thank you guys for being here. We're gonna talk when David gets back about his record label, and his collaborative bands, specifically with one specific person, because I think that's an interesting thing. And if any of you watching have any questions for him, we're gonna ask those too. If Dylan is still watching, you've been our sole commenter. Thank you so much. Please say something. Give us a question for David. I think he prefers to be called David. That's where I'm going with it, at least. In the meantime, we're gonna play with banners because this thing has like all these weird little, like this program I use has all these weird little things. So look at that, saying thank you for being a pal. I have no idea why it even gives me that option. It's not useful. Hey.
Hey.
Look at that. At the bottom of the screen, it says thank you for being a pal. I've made a banner. I don't know why they exist or what they do. It's something I can turn on and off. So I wanted to ask you, before we move to our most painful fight round here.
Yeah.
Your label, Anima Recordings.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Oh, I just had a painful burp.
You're all right. We're under a lot of.
Oh, I hadn't had a burp yet. Oh, it hurts. I'm fine. So we got questions right at once. So those look like fun ones. So we're gonna address those in just a minute. If you have a cat and what your fave pedal is, I want to ask you about Anima Recordings. It's how. So you started the label. I'm assuming to self-release some things, but it's allowed you to stretch beyond that. What is the most exciting artist you've had the opportunity to work with, and how did you? I mean, how does one start a label? You've released media in many formats, not just CDs or tapes or anything. You've run the gamut.
Yeah, it started with CDs, like CDRs, and like making our own like fun packaging for them and stuff. And then moved on to cassettes. Started the label with my friend Uriah, and after a while, he left to just pursue other things, and it's been me ever since. yeah, it did start as just a thing to like release my own projects or projects that we were directly related to or had a hand in. And then yeah, but I always wanted to work with like friends bands, and the idea was just to like have it be like a small kind of community based thing where, you know, it's all about just any extra like push or help to these artists. Like I got some sort of satisfaction out of that, and the satisfaction of just like making these things and doing a lot of like the design for like the the releases and stuff too. But so some of the, I think we're about to release, I got it right here, I got it written down somewhere in my notebook, the 22nd, the 23rd, and the 24th release on the label this year. So I'll just tell you what I'm doing this year, since they all have been announced already, besides one of them, but I'll just go ahead and announce it here. The next record, which is, it's going to come out on CD and on cassette, is Huracan, which is my friend Pierre, who I play music with in a band called Flood Peak that I play drums in. So this is his like solo ambient folk sort of experimental solo project. He made a really good record with 20 tracks on it. I'm really excited to put that out. Putting out a record eventually this year, because so for A Stick and a Stone, which is an Oregon-based project. You may be familiar. I don't know if you know Elliot, but Elliot is an amazing artist, and he makes beautiful music. This is, I think, his third record, and a European label is going to be doing the vinyl, but that's been on hold ever since. Everything's kind of been on hold for like this year. So
yeah, it's shocking how that might be.
Yeah, Anima will do the cassette release and the digital, and then
Vote.
we'll be doing vinyl.
Is it, you said Anna? Is it Anna Vote?
Oh no, A Stick and a Stone.
Oh, sorry.
And A Stick and a Stone.
No, I know it's Stick and a Stone. I thought you said something about Anna.
Oh, maybe I said Anima.
Oh, Anima.
Yeah,
like,
not Anima. Another great friend who I miss.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. I'm like, oh, I know that they have a label as well, so I was very confused, excited, but okay.
I know. I saw Bo like in January or something before all this went down briefly. It was really nice to see them before this, but yeah. Yeah, so I'm really excited about that stuff. Then the band I'm drumming in, Flood Peak, will put out our EP this year as well on cassette and CD digital.
Awesome.
But in the past, I'd say like I feel really incredibly fortunate to work with such amazing friends and people, artists such as Elrond. And I know you know Vern. Vern and Ian are just amazing people, and I feel really able to work with my friend Aaron for re-releasing the Lumbar cassette, which also features Tad Doyle, Mike Scheidt. That was a really fun release to just do like the first ever cassette do. And then my friends, the Stargazer Lilies, I did a cassette issue for like a B-sides record collection of B-sides for them. So like, and there's more, like everyone really, Stoller, fucking.
Yeah, sorry, I realize that it's not trying to make you prioritize a friend.
For sure. But that's the way I think about doing this. Is like it's
Of
like
course.
I feel so like lucky to even have a hand in anyone else's stuff, and my entire goal is to just help even a little bit. Like I'm not a big label with a lot of money, like I can't really do much. I can't support a tour, like I just want to make fun releases, and
Of course.
just that's my small way of contributing, and hopefully that can continue to grow like it has been. This year has kind of been a weird one, but it's not stopping me from releasing music, and though there are challenges, especially financial ones, but
oh jeez,
it's always a financial challenge, and having a small label that's not really making money is probably not even a good idea, but you do it because
it's a matter of putting something back into a community you feel like it matters to you and you're a part of. You mentioned Elrond. I just need to say I don't have a date set yet. I'm actually going to be talking to Vern on one of these, and one of the watching this is familiar, at least because this person, PR, may or may not be a member of the band I'm in, and may not have played with Vern last summer. So it's time for our last sauce, and then we're going to address the questions from fans and readers and more. I have the fucking Insanity sauce. Look at the color of that. Just like, that is brutal. That's going to be...
Oh my goodness. That just looks like blood.
I think it's like congealed blood. I haven't had for this. So I have not tried the Dave's Insanity sauce, like this Insanity, in probably 8 or 9 years. I have no idea what I'm about to do. I know it's going to be harsh because the temporary Insanity was painful enough.
I don't know if I've ever tried that sauce. So my dad is a big hot sauce collector, and he used to always make hot wings, and and I'm pretty sure he had a handful of Dave's sauces, and I think he had an Insanity sauce. I can't remember.
It's not gentle.
But I feel like that's maybe where my interest in sauces came from. It's just my dad like feeding me these crazy fucking sauces on these wings at a young age. So mine is the same brand as before, the Adobo Loca Hawaiian. This one, Maui no Ka Oi.
No Ka Oi.
Okay. Maui no Ka Oi. It's a Trinidad Maruga scorpion pepper sauce.
Woo!
Scorpion pepper is good. I like it more than Reaper. It has it's somewhere in between a Reaper and a ghost pepper, where it has that real serious bite to it, but it also has a good flavor. But I feel like this sauce is so thin, like you can probably see.
You can easily put too much of that
liquid. Yeah, so it has a very small dropper spout.
Thank goodness. This you can see. This is just like
just open vault.
Dangerous. This is no. It smells like if you've ever bought like a can of like adobo peppers, just like just like the roasted, smoky hot.
Yeah.
Given that the temporary really just fucked with me just now, I know that regular Insanity is going to be aggressive, even though it doesn't smell that spicy. You can't smell a burn, I guess.
What's after Insanity? Like
total Insanity.
Insanity. Total. Just no holds barred.
And then I think they have something else. They have something else, I think, that's even above the total now. But I mean, again, I'm dipping my toes back in slowly. So I put a very small amount on this one little nugget, and I know that it's going to hurt me anyway.
Okay. You could
see. I see that tiny drop. Tiny drop. Oh, you put a few, though.
I'm going to put a few. I'm just going to go for it.
You are more seasoned than I am. All right. Time to go. Time to end this.
Mm.
I feel that tiny drop creeping up on me already.
Yeah, this one's a creeper too.
I feel like spreading through my face.
Yeah, this one's real slow, but it's coming.
Okay. Oh, it's here. So, we're gonna ask some questions. Does Dave have a cat? Look at that, Mr. Feeney 420. You have a cat.
Mr. Feeney 420. Does Dave have a cat?
Whew.
Yeah, wow. So
Nugget just to deal with that heat.
I'm serious here. But my cat suddenly had an accident and died a month ago.
So I realize it's dark, but also, I mean,
it's okay. It's not like I can't talk about it.
Yeah.
But
that was Nemo.
It was completely unexpected, and his name is Nebo. I've had him since he was a kitten. He was going to be 8 years old this year. Yeah, we moved across the country together. He was my best friend. He would have been right there on that bed behind me this whole time. Yeah, there was just an act of curiosity. He took a spill. The vet said he may have had an underlying heart condition I didn't know about, and he probably just went into cardiac arrest when he had his little accident. But I feel grateful that I heard this happen and I was able to investigate and be there with him in his final moment. But yeah, he died before my eyes like a month ago. And it's been a weird month as a result because he's such an important, part of life to me. So I had a cat, and he still lives here. But
so you do have a cat, but not in the way that a lot of people.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm feeling it's on my lips now. I'm like,
yes, this
so
is like
we've got the fun question from my dear friend who is saying mean things to me. Fave pedal. I have to say, the person asking this, I mean, literally, plays in the band with me is the drummer, but plays everything. I remember we went there to practice at our practice space, and it's like you rent a furnished studio. This clown just bought a pedal from the guy running the studio rehearsal space without even trying it out. Just like, oh, there's a pedal, I'm gonna buy it. So
that's funny. So I do have a favorite pedal. It's not necessarily an effects pedal. It is like if I were to really like name one favorite pedal that I probably couldn't do all the things I do without, it would be my Varellin Skyhammer preamp pedal, which is actually the one I own, is the serial #1 prototype. It's the first one he ever made. So I love to brag about this pedal. It belonged to Aaron, who I played music with for a few years, and I bought it off of him recently. And yeah, I'm looking. I wonder if I can't even show it to you. But this thing's like, it's a pedal, right? But it's like it's its own amp. it has yeah, I can't take it off that pedal board. It's like really locked on there and it's really big. But they're the big boxy things. It's got its own tubes in it. I don't think I could achieve like the tones I do without it. So I love it because it's great to it has a direct like an output that's meant to go direct into your interface or whatever. So I often just record direct without going into my amp and miking anything up. And then this way it's just the tone of that pedal is insane. And I can run all my other effects through it as well. And just bypass using and miking up an amp and a cab. And I've used it ever since the beginning of Folian. So, yeah, I don't know. I probably wouldn't want to be without that pedal.
We've learned a lot about that pedal now.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. That's actually really cool.
I wasn't even very informative about it. I was just like, I love this pedal. It's so good. I don't know what I'd do without it.
No, I mean, like I expected. I was thinking that there might be some like chorus or reverb pedal that you would mention or something because I know the nature of what you do.
Right.
But that's really cool that it's a preamp. I personally think like that was a pleasant surprise.
I love the tone of this thing, and I guess it's technically not an effects pedal. So if I were to pick an effects pedal, I would just say probably the most important one I have right now for the music that I'm working on that has not been released is the Electro Harmonix Mel 9 pedal, which is the Mellotron emulator pedal.
Ooh.
And it's got a lot of great settings on it, and it's just using that in conjunction with some of the other effects I have, and the Varellin distortion makes for some really interesting and lush textures, and I'm excited to eventually share some of the stuff I'm recording with that.
I can't wait to hear it.
That's probably my favorite effects pedal right now. I should have just went with that, but I guess I needed to brag about my Varellin.
You found a way to list two pedals, and that is very, very good. It's funny because I just glanced at my sheet of questions to make sure I've covered everything. Like I realized, it's fun doing these because it's not like a traditional press cycle sort of talk, like where you ask like canned ass questions. It's just like, oh, tell me about your this. But you hinted at it, and I wanted to delve a little deeper. Because there are a couple people that you've had more than one collaborative project that are different in nature with. So your friend Uriah, who you were Nursery Crimes, and was it Secret of Birth? It's called, and was it Secret of, and then Aaron, with whom you've done Ramprasad, Bible Black Tyrant, and you've released his his old lumbar recording. Now, calling it old isn't a bad thing. Just prior to you working together. What is it draws you to examine multiple angles with the same people? Like, what is it about these people, these relationships that you really want to twist around?
I don't know. I think it's really just come from having all these people. It's like we've met each other along some point in time, whether it was playing a show together or in the case of Aaron, it was Dylan actually sent him my way because he needed someone to record vocals for a project of his, and so he came over to my apartment and we worked together for the first time, meeting each other, and then developed a relationship from there, and then realized that, oh, we probably work well together. And so it's really just it's always like, I guess with the exception of Tom, like the story I told you earlier, where that was like a project that was born out of just spontaneous collaboration. Like, I really don't know. It is about developing relationships with people, and I wouldn't want to make music with somebody who I wouldn't consider a friend. So it's just, that's the beauty of developing relationships as an artist and as a musician, I guess, is that this is another way to do so, and to pick each other's brains, show each other what your ideas are, and to create something together is like a beautiful thing. And it's different with everyone. You know, Canadensis is such a different project than Bible Black Tyrant, you know, like,
Yes.
like worlds, different ends. Like, you know, Void is such a different project than like when I collaborate with like the Stargazer Lilies or Drowse or something. Like, these are completely different fucking projects. But there's such joy in working with other people to make something, and there's also great joy in doing it alone, and that's why I do both. Yeah.
I feel like you've indicated as much. Every day you are doing something musical, whether it's for your own explorations or as a commitment to something that you're doing long term. You are every day doing something to further your musical goals.
I'm trying. Yeah, this pandemic has definitely proven to be I've had the time to not, procrastinating and making excuses is not an option lately, as in many ways, not even just creatively, but educationally, and being an active person, absorbing the world around me. But I've definitely taken advantage of the time this year that I've had to work on new things, and I can't wait to share some of that soon. So there's like two separate Folian projects that are in the works right now, and one will hopefully see the light of day this year.
That's exciting, especially given that just an album.
Yeah, and this is when I started a couple of years ago, but I'll tell you a little bit about it. I won't go into detail, but it will be a visual album, so there will be video accompanying the entire album, and a handful of collaborators have contributed to that as well.
I'm really excited to see what shape that'll take.
That'll be the first Folian collaborative release, and I'm hoping to put it out on like VHS or something. But I realize I might
ask that, but I didn't want to sound pretentious.
Release. What was that?
I said I was going to ask that, but I didn't want to sound pretentious. Like, oh, will there be a VHS tape?
No, my friend Alex, who has this project called Super Sun, put out one of my favorite records of this year. The only physical release of it is on a VHS tape, and it's an amazing record. I mean, it's on Bandcamp, but that's the only other place you can find it besides the VHS. And maybe that inspired me to be able to, how many people have VCRs that are willing to buy a VHS album and like actually sit down in front of a television that is hooked up to good speakers, like a good system that you can enjoy this record. Like, I have that set up, but I doubt many people do. And I
Well,
still
it's dedicated.
care. I still want, maybe it's incentive for people to seek that equipment out. It probably won't work, but
Yeah. It's weird. I think somewhere in a box I have a VCR, but there are no CDs in my home. You know, like I've got a turntable, I got a tape deck, I've got a CD player, I've got all manner. I don't have a television though, which is probably for the best because I also have a Super Nintendo, and I would never do anything if I had my Super Nintendo just fully accessible all the time.
right. I have a Super Nintendo too.
I just realized today. I got this laptop that I'm using maybe 15 months ago. I got it last year, shortly after I got sick, because I was home all the time, and I was like, I need a new computer. Bedridden at that point, and the laptop was dying. And so I got this computer, looked nice, and it's got this thing on the side that looks like a CD drive. Today, I finally decided to check it out. It's not a drive. It's just this panel that has like a little line separating it. It's just a panel on the side of the thing that does nothing. You cannot open it in it. And I had that moment of pure frustration because I was gonna rip a bunch of my CDs to my computer, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna do something good and productive. And I also had this DVD that was sent to me from this band that has like very little recorded material, very little anything online. And I was like, oh, here's this DVD of them playing a show in like 2003. Very, very excited to watch it. And it's like, oh, I actually can't do that.
It sucks.
It's also fine, but it's like the obsolescence of media formats is such a strange thing because, like, I remember when I started making music in 2006, maybe 2005. When I started doing bands and everything was done on CD at that point. I remember talking to this fellow who was a heavy metal DJ at some show, and he's like, "Oh, you're in a band, if you have vinyl, I'll play it." I'm like, "Vinyl? Why would I have vinyl?" To be fair, it was shitty bedroom black metal. No, that is meant for it. It was recorded and it was put on MySpace. I don't think it was anything else. But it would have been on a cassette if it was anything, like I definitely wasn't going to put out a record. Who had money? And now all I have is vinyl, and I player, but like all these modern formats I don't have anymore. Like a means of playing them. It's like, oh Jesus! Like look at me now.
I have, it's frustrating the the ongoing elimination of technology on like newer computers and devices that are coming out, like the CD drive and the aux port, like the 1/8 inch output. Like those things are big, like, and
We're getting rid of that.
Well, I mean, like cell phones and maybe not computers, but like cell phones have.
On phones. Yeah, no. I was very upset when I got my phone and it didn't have that.
Technology's being eliminated. It's like these are such universal things that I don't want to see go away. Like CDs are not, to me, like a thing of the past. Like I still buy CDs. I still would use them if I had a drive to do it with. My CD drive on my MacBook stopped working like a few years ago. So I don't have a computer now that has a working CD drive, and it's frustrating because sometimes I would be burning CDs and releasing them, and I just haven't bought a new one. I probably should just do that.
My girlfriend has a laptop that is probably from 2005. That is what I record my music on. And that thing has a CD drive, so I may test some of my stuff and see if I can, like, I have hundreds of CDs. It would be folly to try and upload them all, but maybe pick a choice few that are harder to find online and upload and send myself through my own email account or something. But it is kind of ridiculous. Like there are some things like I get like the Laserdisc was not an economical format. I get why you would replace it with something easier.
Yeah.
I get why you would like do away with the CD and the DVD in exchange for nothing because everybody's using cloud storage. Like,
Right.
us, like I think about my father in like the late '90s. My dad is one of those boomers who is very having the new thing, and so he CD player in like 1999, 98, whenever it was, when it was like a really new, exciting thing.
Yeah.
And he has, I don't want to say an extensive DVD collection, but he has enough DVDs. If he buys a new computer, I think that he should be able to enjoy the ridiculous amount of stuff. I mean, he had Austin Powers on DVD. I don't know why you would have that. That's how committed he was to that format for like a good decade plus. Yeah,
God.
baby. Or whatever. That's what he says, right? Yeah, I never even saw
Yeah,
those.
baby. Oh, behave.
Yeah, the thing, like my father, who's like almost 70 now, like what is he gonna do? Like, he's not gonna start a new account on something to have like his cloud storage files. No, like he should be enjoy that. Anyway, I realize I'm getting into like nitpicky things, but like it's so. And I appreciate that you and your label release on multiple formats, and I think almost I was actually, when you made the playlist for me today of things that you had made, I was surprised at how much of your art was on Spotify. Like, you are clearly very aware of how to keep things accessible to people, which is something that a lot of us are not good at.
Yeah, I just wanted to. It's not all on there, I don't think I have like. There's certain things I do not release on Spotify. A lot of the Folian stuff that's only on Bandcamp, and some old Wasting Season stuff, but most of it is all on Spotify and all the others, except Amazon, because fuck Amazon. And
Oh God, I mean, that's a basic. Yeah, thank you for saying that.
Yeah, it was actually Ian and Vern that got me to get on board with that, because when we were talking about the digital distro for Elron, they're like, no Amazon, okay? And I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. And actually, I'm just gonna not put my shit on Amazon to begin with. But yeah, I've only done 2 vinyl releases, which have been the collaborative one with Accident Prone and Nadine for the Elron record, Love Across Light Years, and then the Blue Mirror. Those are the 2 things I've done for vinyl, and hopefully I can do more.
I have the Elron one. I don't have Blue Mirror yet.
I forgot about this super. We did like a lathe cut for the tour. That's
what I thought. I thought you had a tiny guy.
So yeah, this is technically a maybe not a vinyl release, but
it's a record though.
Yeah.
You play it on your turntable.
Yes. And there's only 15 of these, and they're all gone. But I have one.
Yeah. I know. I wish I had been able.
Yeah, we didn't. The idea was to only have it be like a tour exclusive thing and not.
That's cool.
So, but the company we made them through is based in here in Portland, and hopefully we'll be able to do some more. They're fun. I like to do the idea of doing like a VHS release, or even like another weird, obscure format is fun to me. Like, I also like the idea of like, maybe not everybody has the means of listening to this item, but maybe you'll find a way, and that's fun.
An act of dedication. I definitely have a couple floppy disk albums.
Yeah, that's funny. I've seen some of those. I know like Tobacco's label, Rad Cult, has been like releasing some of their releases on floppy disks lately.
Wow. Yeah. Pretty high profile artist to be doing that too. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, the Stargazer Lilies put out their last album on his label, and he actually produced that album for them. I think it was like the first artist he's ever produced other than himself. But yeah, I was stoked about that. No floppy disk release yet, but
To be fair, I had the means of listening to them when I got them in like 2012,
uh-huh.
but that was 3 computers ago, probably. Uh, like I can't listen to my floppy disk albums too. Like it's oh
I have
you're
doing it.
it's like, oh, you're from my hometown and I love you. I will buy your floppy disk album. The 12 of I would certainly rather it be in one of the 3 more common formats, or you're only going to do that for your physical, put it on Bandcamp or something so that.
Yeah, there's got to be an alternative digital.
But I'm not here to judge. I'm here to celebrate, and I mean, it's been almost 8 years, and I'm still excited about music since I started writing about it. So I guess I'm doing something okay.
Yeah, so
Thank you for taking the time to talk with me, man.
I really appreciate you having interest in doing this, and it's been really fun, and I'm glad you're doing more with Black Metal and Brews. So
yeah, no, I had a couple years of doldrums there, but it's coming back to life. I've got all hot sauce bottles sitting here to my left, like looking at me with judgment. Like
my desk looks insane right now. I mean, I'm just like it's a scattered mess of bottles and chewed up wings, and
yeah, I'm definitely gonna wake up at like 1 a.m. with a stomach ache. Just like it. When I was a kid, one of my and I think you're a couple years younger than me, and I'm not judging that. Did you watch the cartoon show The Angry Beavers when you were a kid?
Yeah, a little bit. I was a Nickelodeon kid, so yeah,
okay.
I watched The Angry Beavers.
I'm 33, so I was like the perfect age for that when it showed up. I was probably 8 or 9 when it came around, so like I could process the cerebral aspects, and I was also young and stupid enough to appreciate. I mean, my mom liked it too, so maybe it has nothing to do with youthful stupidity. But there was an episode that I think is going to be my life tonight, wherein these two brothers, these 2 beavers, ate a bunch of spicy food and fell asleep watching like B movies about Viking women from Venus. And in sleep, they have these like psychedelic nightmares that they reenact. They jump up, acting these out in sleep because they're having these like weird lucid psychedelic dreams because they're spicy food. And so one of them is a late night TV salesman in his sleep, because of course the 2 a.m. infomercial, so he he throws on a toupee and stuff in his sleep and is doing that. And the other one is singing opera while dressed as a Viking woman.
I feel like I remember.
And that's going to be me. I'm going to probably get killed by my better half. So wake up in the middle of the night, reenacting whatever the last thought was to go through my head, however surreal and absurd it is. That's going to be me because of all the spicy food I ate today.
I think that's one of the things I love about spicy food, though, is that this feeling of like it's a high, like
but it's very lucid.
You can ride this wave. It's almost like a body high. And I've definitely had a very 2 that I can think of very I would say almost like hallucinatory experiences when I ate peppers. And going back to the jalapeno, I was at a show in Philly like years and years ago, and there was a food truck outside the venue, and maybe we got a burrito or something, but I don't know. They had like a dish of these roasted jalapenos, just jalapenos, roasted. So I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll pop that entire thing in my fucking mouth.
It should be fine. It's roasted.
Yeah, it's cooked. It's like cooked off. It doesn't actually bring out the spiciness or anything. My friend and I both did this at the same time, and then we, as we're walking back to my car, it was just excruciating. This feeling of being so helpless and having no control over what's happening to your body.
You've already done it.
Oh shit, I just took a drug and there's no going back. It was 10 minutes of hell. And we were just like chugging soda and nothing was working. Like but it was that's great. For some weird fucked up reason, I love that.
Oh, I love that too. So my very first exposure to truly hot food, like I'd had wasabi and things that have the heat response but aren't quite spicy as a child.
Uh-huh.
And I realize that I feel like I'm opening up a whole window here, but I'm not trying to. I was in an institution from the ages of 12 to 14, kind of somewhere between boot camp and a mental institution. It wasn't quite either of them. So I'm in residential treatment. I'm 13 years old, and a lot of fun treats are forbidden, like soda. And one of the counselors, and I'm the baby there. Most of these kids are 15, 16. I'm 13. He says to me, he says, "Hey, Ben, you'll eat this pepper. You can have any soda you want." And I'm 13. That's awesome. I can have soda. And peppers I'm used to having are bell peppers. And this pepper is little. It's little and it's really pretty. It's bright orange. It's a habanero pepper.
Right.
And he says, if you eat this in one bite, you can have a soda. And I said, "Can I have a root beer?" Because I want a root beer. He says, "Of course you can have a root beer. You got to eat this pepper first." And I'm assuming that he thinks either he thinks I know what he's offering me and I just want it that bad, or in the greater likelihood, he knows I have no idea what I've just agreed to.
Yeah.
And I remember vomiting so many interesting colors.
Oh, damn.
Because of like all of the, again, this is like 20 years ago. There were some interesting processed foods I was eating at that age. I just ate some interesting processed foods with those chicken nuggets, those veggie chicken nuggets, but different kind of processed foods. This is like Kool-Aid kind of processed foods.
Uh-huh.
And then I remember, and he's like, "You doing okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, can I have my soda now?" Like after I had done, I finished this horrible feeling, and I demanded my soda, and it's like I'm sure there was some part of me that is like, "Oh, there's a reward after the burn." I'm sure that some part of me learned the wrong lesson from that, and which is why I'm doing these things now.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I have never learned. I still haven't learned my lesson when it comes to this shit, and I'm kind of reckless with it, which is why I just poured a little bit of each sauce that I've tried tonight on my plate. I'm gonna have one more wing.
Either roll it in them, dip it around.
All of them. That's fucking gross. I am an asshole. But I'm gonna do it.
Do it. You're shaking your head.
I mean, it's like too many flavors, right? You can't even talk about it.
No, it's not going to taste like anything. It's just going to feel like something at that point.
Maybe it'll all cancel each other out.
I don't think that's how it works.
Oh, God. This is why I'm here. Not really. I'm here to talk to you, and it's been so nice to be able to do that.
It's been a delight. Anytime you... Sorry.
Everyone's dealing with it, not being able to see friends and not being able to hang out with one another like regularly. But for us, a few years anyway, because you haven't been here, and
I know.
And so it's just real nice to be able to do that.
I agree. No, it sucks because I was in town for like 4 days in 2017 when I moved all my things here, or no, it was late 2018. Ooh, oh, you're hurting.
I'm all right.
Yeah, like I went out to Portland to grab all my things from my storage shed and bring them, ship them to myself here.
I
But I
remember.
didn't have to do anything with anybody. Like I was staying right off Sandy by that place Govinda's, like the Indian joint. Is it
Yeah.
called Govinda's?
I feel like Govinda's is a Philly place.
Govinda's was the Indian place in my hometown.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, but you know what I'm talking about, the vegetarian Indian place right there on like Sandy and 28th or whatever. It's like not far from where Tonic Lounge used to be.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's
Not Govinda.
you're talking about.
Yeah,
It's like 28th and Meatballs, that place.
it's by the. I think it's like in that food. There's like a taco joint, a meatball joint, and the Indian joint. But I remember I was there just like literally emptying my storage space out and eating Indian. Like I think I ate at that Indian place like 3 times in 4 days.
Uh-huh.
It was like all I did was just, take things out of storage shed, put them into boxes that can be mailed to myself, and I did that for like. It was not a fun hanging out with people kind of time.
No, that was all work.
No, it was.
Yeah,
but so next,
a couple times, but it's been like real short weekend visits and mostly cramming and seeing family, because those visits were based around like family events or and then trying to see as many friends as I could in the Poconos for like a day or two.
That's how it always goes.
But hopefully, I mean, I don't know who knows what the future looks like at this point, but hopefully sometime down the road I can plan like a whole week or 10 days or so just to hang out on the East Coast again and we can meet again.
You can wear space suits or something like we're like on the moon.
We might be there.
Well, I'm gonna let you go and deal with your burn here, and also let our viewers go because boy, we've run long and it's been wonderful. I don't regret a second of it. So thank you, David.
Thank you, Ben.
Have a good day.
It's been a pleasure. I love you and be safe.
Love you too, man. Take care. Talk soon.
All right.
All right. So thank you guys for hanging out. This 2.5 hours. I literally never in my life run this long or anywhere close to it. But it's been for a great cause. We've had some good spicy times, some good conversation with a good person whose art is amazing. If you didn't check out the playlist David shared today of his own art, you really should. It's on my Patreon, which is linked below. You don't have to pay anything. I know Patreon is often a paying platform. It's just a place I have to store things that isn't my website proper. Nothing on my Patreon is behind a paywall. If you want to give me money because this costs money, sure. I won't say no. I love you. I'll appreciate it. But just go listen to David's playlist. He's in a lot of bands. He's done a lot of bands. Thank you so much, Dumoir. Cheers to you. You are here like every fucking time, and I appreciate it. It means a lot. I try to make these fun and interesting. It's going to be real interesting for me in a few hours when this catches up with me. And maybe for David too. I hope he's okay. Anyway, loved you all. This Friday, I've got a great guest. The band Matt Black is going to be with me talking about their record, which was released on vinyl about a month ago. It's a wonderful record. Going to be talking with them, I believe all 3 members of the band. I'll find out, and I'll let you know soon. Thank you for being here. It's been a wonderful episode of Black Metal and Brews for me, and I hope it's been the same for you. And cheers. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. There's a fucking pandemic on. Be good. Be